Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Darrell Brooks saga. On today's episode, we're going to continue with Officer Colton, with the officer that shoot Darrell Brooks, and finish the cross-examination and redirect of him. But yeah, the last episode was wild. Like, you can tell the tension between Darrell Brooks and him. Like, he hates this person. He can't stand by the fact that he shot him, and it's entertaining to watch. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for giving the video a like, sharing it with your friends. We are so close. We are so close to 2,100 subscribers, and that would be a nice milestone to get. So thank you for subscribing, and let's get into the video. I plan to do more. I want to create more content for you guys. But yeah, let's go into it.
And you knew based on the radio reports?
I would say everything that I had just previously described, all of that encompassing, yes, that led up to my decision making into yes, now I knew what had happened. I did not know previous to that what was going on. I did not know there was a vehicle on the roadway until I saw it. And it all made sense when I put everything together.
When you saw it, by the time you saw it, as you said, it was a couple of seconds. So at that point, did you observe the vehicle strike anyone from the time that you saw it?
No, I did not. I was focused on the vehicle, so I just remember that there were a ton of little kids and adults on the sidewalks. I knew there were a lot of children right in the roadway right there. And I remember seeing people like running, but I wasn't really paying attention to the people. I was just focused on the vehicle. So it was really all I was focused on at that point.
You weren't paying attention to any other people?
That was not my primary focus.
But you do recall that no one was struck from the time you saw the vehicle?
Yes.
Yes, after looking back, after videos later on throughout the investigation.
No. From what you saw, from which you observed with your own eyes.
And that's always the problem with Darrell. He loves messing up with the timelines. Like, he asked a general question, and when the person like him is trying to answer it, he's like, no, I mean in this specific point in time. And when the person is like, well, you didn't say that before, so I'm just answering honestly.
No, I can't recall ever seeing someone hit right in front of me. No, I do not recall that.
Does the exhibit videos that you saw here today, does anyone get struck in those videos that you saw today?
No, not that I saw today.
And you still made the decision to shoot to kill?
That's correct. Actually, correction, I shot to stop the threat. If ultimately you would have been killed from that, that is a possible outcome.
And I love that answer. It's like, I didn't necessarily meant to kill you. If that happened, well, that's something that could have happened. And I will be okay with that. I think most of the people that are watching this video will be fine. I mean, I do believe that him spending the rest of his natural life in a cell is a better punishment for him. But yeah, he just tried to stop the person driving the car.
But you did testify that there were kill shots, did you not?
It could have been.
Sustained. It's also been asked and answered in multiple ways.
Do you recall what your shots hit, if anything?
And that's Darrell Brooks being passive aggressive. It's like, what did you even shoot? Did you even hit anything? Like, he's trying to be hostile against the witness, and he's not gonna take it.
Yes, later on throughout the investigation when I gave
at the time, not later on, at the time where you fired the shots.
Mr. Brooks, you asked a question. He was attempting to answer it, so you have to
I was trying to give him clarification on what I mean.
But you have to let him answer the question that you asked, and if you feel the need for follow-up, then you can do that, or ask a very specific question. But I'm allowing him to answer. He was interrupted. Go ahead.
I believe it was 3 days after the incident. That is when I gave my voluntary statement to Detective Kirby and Detective Casey, and upon completion of that statement, I asked them if they could share any information with me, and during that conversation I was shown a picture of the vehicle and where my round struck the vehicle.
You stated you asked them for any additional information that they could give you.
Correct.
So it would be fair to say at that time you still didn't have a lot of information. Would it be fair to say that?
That is correct. I didn't know where my rounds had struck previous to that.
Yeah.
Did you ask them in the statement that you just testified to, saying you asked them if they could provide you with any more information? Did you at any time specifically ask about the shots that you fired when you?
Yes, that's why they show him the pictures of the shot. Why else did they show him? Do you feel like he showed them that?
Requested if they could give you any more information?
I do not remember the specifics of what questions I asked in pertaining to what information they could share with me. I think it was sort of a generalization of what can you share with me at this point.
So would it be fair to say at that point that there's a possibility that you did not know the name of the suspect, nor did you know if you had shot the suspect at that time?
How can he know your name, Brooks? He never said, he even clarified that he didn't know your name at the time. Why are we asking this?
At that time, I knew I had not shot the suspect, because the night of the incident, when he was taken into custody, it was relayed to me that he was uninjured and he had not been struck by any of my rounds that were fired.
You do recall just testifying to requesting more information from the detectives when you had the conversation with them. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you said that you don't recall asking them about if your bullet struck someone. Is that correct?
That is correct. So the day I met with Detective Kirby and Detective Casey, that was, I believe, 2 or 3 days after the incident, Mr. Brooks was taken into custody the night of. So when I was still at the police department, I knew that he had not been struck. So I think we're dealing with the questions I asked of the detectives. That was not the same night of the incident.
And that's the danger of asking very general questions. Yes, the witness is going to share more information with those, but sometimes that's not going to be the information that you need. And that's what's happening right now. Like, Darrell Brooks doesn't understand that because of the way that he's asking this, he's not getting the answers that he wants, which at this point, I don't know what he wants of him. Yes, he shot him. Yes, he missed. Why are we still asking about this?
I'm sure you asked.
You can't be sure. You cannot be sure of anything he asked.
You didn't say it, but you said you don't recall the information that you requested. Would that be fair to say?
No, I don't recall specifically what questions I asked I don't know specifically what questions I asked of them a year ago. I know it was a generalized, what information can you share with me at this point, because I didn't know what was going on in the investigation or what leads they had, or essentially what had happened after my involvement, I guess.
Fair.
So you didn't. It would be fair to say there was a lot of information that you still was unsure about at that point. Would that be fair to say?
That's correct.
Right. So?
So if there was information that you're acknowledging that you had no knowledge of, which would be essentially the reason why you would ask if they can volunteer more information to you, then how would there be any way of knowing if you struck the suspect?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained. It's a compound.
Look, we're gonna go back to that.
Objection.
Grounds.
Look at Zach's face. He had the same face that I had when he was asking this question. It doesn't make sense. I cannot piece together what he's trying to get out of the witness. And he can't also, he knows that something is wrong, and that's why he's objecting. But he can't even formulate the word of what's going on.
Sustained. It's a compound, confusing question. Please rephrase. I also think it mischaracterizes the testimony.
And you said you made a statement during your testimony that you had learned that the suspect was not injured. Do you recall who you learned that information from?
I believe when I was back at the police department after the incident, so after using deadly force, you're ultimately removed from the scene. When I was at the police department, I was with a support officer and another detective, and at that point I was still answering questions for investigating officers for what I saw, what I knew, what I saw in the vehicle. And I believe Detective Stern was at our substation with Darrell Brooks after taking him into custody, and I was shown a photo at that point, and I know I had asked if he sustained any injuries or if anyone else had sustained any injuries from my use of force, and at that point I was not told that anyone had been struck by my gunfire.
Yeah, and that was something that I was thinking about yesterday, is that I don't believe that there's a cop that wants to go out in a random day and fire his gun. So, and even after they fire the gun, I don't think they want to hurt or kill anyone that they hit with it. They have to do it. They sometimes have to do it because there's a lot of people that are not up for no good in the world, and they need to be stopped or else they're gonna injure more people. But yeah, he didn't want him to be injured or killed. He just wanted him to stop.
So you just said you asked if the suspect or if anyone else was struck by the gunfire.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So you weren't sure at that point? You weren't sure?
I was not certain at that point. It was, I can't describe it any more than it was just pure chaos. And at that point I did not know if anyone else was injured from my rounds, or up until I was confirmed that you were not injured. At that point, no, I did not know if anyone was hurt until I was told that.
So would it be fair to say that, and as you just stated, you were unsure if the suspect or anyone else was injured? Would it be fair to say that there was a possibility because you did not know for certain?
But no one was, Brooks. No one got hit with his shots. Why are we asking this for the end time? We are done. This is over. You asked that already. I don't know why they allow him to continue asking this. It's pointless.
Objection.
Grounds.
Thank you.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustained, Your Honor.
Asked and answered. Next question.
After the vehicle passed you, did you observe it strike anyone?
I did not observe it strike anyone after it passed me.
Do you recall who you... Well, I think you did. I think you said you gave your report to Officer Kirby. Is that correct?
Detective Kirby, yes.
I'm sorry, Detective. Do you recall telling Detective Kirby that you were unaware of a vehicle on a parade route and you were unaware of people being injured?
Yes, I previously stated that.
Were you able to make out a license plates from the vehicle when he passed you?
This is the closest he's been to be able to say license plate correctly.
I later learned that I must have, but I do not recall that.
So from what you recall at the time that the vehicle was passing, you don't recall getting the license plate?
At this time, I do not recall the license plate, but after I shot at the vehicle, I then responded up Main Street and started triaging victims. And after doing that, I met with officers, and because I couldn't get on the radio and give out as much information as I wanted to. So when I spoke with other officers, that's when I explained to them that I was the one that had shot. It was not a suspect shooting, it was me. And that the vehicle in question was a red Ford Escape. And I believe I was talking to Detective Casey, Specialist Moss, and I believe there might have been another officer there as well. And I must have provided a license plate to Detective Casey during that debrief on scene. I did not know about that until about 2 days later when I gave my statement to Detective Kirby and Detective Casey, because that is when I was informed by Detective Casey that I had actually provided him a correct license plate, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was a year ago, and it was right after the incident, so it was fresh on his mind. But still, like, this is firing a shot at someone is a traumatic event. So your memory is not gonna be that good when you do that.
Reason why you didn't mention the license plates in your report?
Because like I stated, I don't remember it.
So it'd be fair to say if you don't remember it, then it's a possibility that you didn't get the license plates number.
I would say that if Detective Casey is telling me that I told him on scene during a traumatic incident that I provided him the license plate of the vehicle, I'd have to believe that Detective Casey is correct. There's many things that you do not remember during a traumatic incident, and I believe that's because your brain prevents you from remembering everything.
So you would describe it as a traumatic incident, but you do recall using deadly force and recalling what you was aiming for, but not the license plates or anything else like that.
Yes, Brooks. It's very different. Shooting at someone and remembering a series of numbers and letters are way too, like, remembering a license plate is over here on the ground, and shooting at someone is almost as up high that as can be in the list of priorities that your mind is gonna remember.
That is correct.
Would it be fair to say that because you describe it as a traumatic event, that there was a lot of things that you probably don't recall about the incident?
I would agree with that. I would think that there's a lot of things when I started going up West Main Street and started seeing the absolute destruction. I know there's things that I did and saw that I don't really remember, and I don't really want to remember.
Will one of those possibly be the suspect that you keep naming?
I hate the way that he does his eyes when he's like, I got you with my web of questions and lies. I got you. And no, Brooks, remembering you is a very important part of that. Remembering someone on the ground, hurting, screaming, crying because he was just hit by a vehicle is something that you don't want to remember. The person that was doing that is something that you do want to.
No.
And how did you come to the knowledge of the make and model of the vehicle when on the exhibit that was shown, you only had interaction with it for a few seconds? How were you able to make out the make and the model of the vehicle?
Because that vehicle model has been out for quite some time, and I'm halfway decent with vehicles, and I readily recognize that it was a Ford Escape.
So you've seen many Ford Escapes?
Yes.
Yes. He's a cop.
And
Yes, he's a cop. He's a guy. You learn those things with the trade. There's several. There's not that many vehicle makers. I mean, there's more now, but you got Ford, Chevrolet, Honda. It's not that many, and it's part of his job to know that.
you said the model has been out for some time. So
Yeah.
what do you mean by that? Do you mean
It's
was an older
2022
model?
now,
Do you mean-
and that Ford model was approximately a 2008-ish to maybe a 2011, 2010-ish. So, yeah, they've been out for over a decade.
And how did you come to that knowledge of the estimate of the years that the model could have been? That would you agree that that's pretty difficult to know just off the bat?
No.
No,
Would that be fair to say?
No.
no.
So it would be pretty easy to tell the make and model and year of a vehicle just by looking at it.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So it'd be fair to say if someone had a vehicle right here in front of you, you'd be able to tell just by looking at it for a couple of seconds the make, the model, and the year.
Depending on what vehicle it is, yeah, quite likely. I'm decent with vehicles.
What do you mean by decent?
I can recognize many vehicles that are manufactured. Part of being a police officer is dealing with vehicles. We run a lot of vehicle registration plates. So when you match the registration to a vehicle on a response, you become very well accustomed to the many different vehicles that are manufactured.
Did you at any time see the registration of the vehicle that passed you?
Like I stated previous, I debriefed with Detective Casey during the incident, and he stated that I gave him a registration number, a registration plate for it. I do not recall giving him that registration plate, but Detective Casey informed me that I provided him a correct license plate for that vehicle.
Would it be fair to say that
No, it wouldn't.
a registration kit would it be fair to say that that automatically links to the make and model and year of the car? Would it be fair to say that? That if you ran, or if we're judging by the license plates, if you were conducting a stop, and to do that you will have to run the license plates.
How is this relevant? Why are we talking about a stop? This was not a stop. He was on foot. And he didn't have a computer to run your license plate. He just knew by watching and seeing the car, like many other witnesses have testified to before.
Would it be fair to say that all that information would come up in your computer when you run the license plate? That'd be fair to say?
You had a lot of questions right there. So
Okay, let me back up then. So if you were conducting a traffic stop
okay,
and you pulled up the license plates of the vehicle that you were stopping,
okay.
would the information registered to that vehicle show in your computer?
If the license plate is actually accurate and current to that actual vehicle, yes.
Just so we're clear, the information would come up though.
That is correct. It should, as long as the system is working.
Did you have a system or any equipment that could have assisted you in learning the make and the model and year of the vehicle at the time of the incident?
No, I was on foot with no other equipment.
So is it fair to say that you did not know that information until later when you were told by Detective Casey or another detective?
He told you an estimation, Brooks. He told you that it was a Ford Escape and a model that the year was from 2008 to 2011, something like that. And he got right his estimation. It was just a guess on the year, if you will. He wasn't 100% sure, but he knew what it was about.
No, because like I previously stated, I can recognize vehicles pretty well, and I knew it was a Ford Escape, and I knew the approximate year of it.
Yeah.
You did testify that, and you can also see from the exhibit video, that the front end of the vehicle was damaged. Would that be fair to say?
That is correct.
Heavily.
And you can still make out the make and model and year of the vehicle with extensive damage.
That is correct.
Could you see the emblem of the vehicle at that point?
I don't recall if I saw an emblem or not. I know the body style of the vehicle, and I knew it was a Ford Escape.
Would it be fair to say that many SUVs have the same type of body build?
I'm sure some vehicles do look similar.
So that would it be fair to say that there's a possibility that you could not make out the make and model and year of the vehicle, especially with it being extensively damaged to the front?
No, I was confident that it was a Ford Escape.
Yeah.
Did you notice any tints on that vehicle?
Here we go.
The front windshield that I looked through, I know was not tinted, or it was not tinted enough to not make me recognize you.
Did you see any tints on the side of the vehicle?
Not that I recall. And if they were, they weren't that dark.
You don't recall, though, for sure, if there were any tints to any windows of the vehicle you saw?
Well, all windows are tinted to some extent. It just depends on to what percentage of tint that they come with. So I'm sure there is tint on the windows because vehicles come from the factory with some level of window tint. So I guess to your question, was there any window tint? I'm sure there was, but not to a degree that would prevent me from seeing who was driving it.
That's a very, very good answer, because remember, he always talks about if you could see in the back of the vehicle if there were more people in there, which is relevant, but he always talks about that. And now we are about to go to Darrell school. Like, he wants to know about all this tint percentage thing, which is relevant, but he wants to know about it.
Explain what you mean by tint percentage.
So there's different varying degrees of tint that you can put on vehicles.
There you go.
Can you elaborate for the jury?
For the jury, not for me that I don't know nothing about this, but for the jury, they don't know.
Rounds.
I'll overrule the objection. Mr. Brooks, please ask your question again.
You stated that all cars come from the manufacturer with some level of tint, but you made a reference to percentage.
Correct.
Can you elaborate on percentage? What would constitute a darker tint versus a lighter tint?
Well, you've asked two questions now, so which one do you want him to answer first?
The last one, I'm sorry.
So you're asking him about lighter
About the tint
versus
percentage.
darker.
About the tint percentage.
So like a 50% tint would be a lighter tint than like a 35% tint.
So the lower the percentage, the darker the tint.
That is correct.
Okay. You stated that you're pretty decent with making out make and model and year.
You see that side that he just make? Like, everyone, I'm sure you at home are also doing the same thing. Like, you are signing up, because we've been through this a ton of times, more times than anyone need to. And he's still asking the same question.
Years of vehicles based on your line of work. Would that be fair to say?
That is correct.
Would you know of the make and model of the vehicle that you saw that day? Would you know if those model vehicles come from the manufacturer with any tint?
To be honest with you, I don't work for Ford, so I don't know if they come with tint, but I would assume, as most vehicles, when they come from the factory, they come with some sort of tint. I believe usually the front is approximately 50% tint, and the rears are usually, I think, 25 or 30 or something like that.
So from your knowledge, the backer windows are usually coming from the manufacturer, maybe a little bit darker than the front.
Correct.
No further questions.
Oh Jesus! I mean, who else is tired after that question? And I even divided the question into two parts because for me, taking all that and the repetition of the questions is exhausting. But now let's see how Zach destroys that entire line of questioning in 5 minutes.
Very briefly, thank you. So the barricades that we saw at the intersection where you were posted, those have been blown over by the wind?
Yes, so when I deployed the barricades initially, standing upright, they kept on blowing directly, like right off the street. So I tipped them down on their sides so they wouldn't, I guess, catch as much wind and they wouldn't blow all over the place.
Did those barricades appear to slow down the SUV as it drove through them?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled, he may answer, given all of the cross.
No, it did not slow the vehicle down at all.
You discharged your firearm 3 times toward the vehicle?
That is correct.
Did all 3 rounds strike the vehicle?
Yes, they did.
Can we please put up for the jury exhibit number 3, which has previously been published?
Go ahead.
We're going to start at the 2-minute and 59-second mark if we can, and while we're working on that, can we please clear the screen now? Thank you.
What exhibit is that?
3. We're at the 2:58-second mark on this exhibit number 3. Do you see a vehicle on the screen?
Yes, I do.
Does that appear to be the same color of vehicle you saw drive through the intersection where you were posted?
Yes.
Let's play from this second, please. Pause. We paused at 3:02. Does that appear to be the same make and model as the SUV you saw driving through your intersection?
Objection.
Overruled.
It's clearly
Yes, it
tinted.
does.
Is there a difference between this vehicle and the vehicle you saw at your intersection?
The difference in the vehicle is that there's no damage on this one.
Okay, let's play again from this point.
And I'm guessing this is all because of the knife incident that he was referring to at the beginning. Darrell Brooks hitting woman. What's different? Same old Darrell.
Pause. Paused at 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Did you see a person wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt in that clip?
Yes, I did.
Was the appearance of that person and their clothing consistent with the person you saw driving the SUV through your intersection?
Objection, speculation, 2 different incidents.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
But he is asking about the same person, the same car.
Yes.
Could we please put up for everybody exhibit number 120, which has previously been received and published?
Go ahead.
Wait for. Okay. You see the photograph on the screen in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Does that appear to be a vehicle consistent with the one you saw driving through your intersection?
Yes.
And the person seated in the driver's seat, does that look like the same person you saw driving that red SUV?
Yes.
Can we put up for everybody, please, exhibit number 9?
Go ahead.
You see the photograph on the screen in front of you?
Yes.
Does that appear to be the same vehicle that you saw driving through the intersection of Wisconsin and Maine?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes.
Does that appear to be the same driver of that same vehicle?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
How can it be hearsay, Brooks? He's asking if he appears to be that person, and also is based on his experience looking at you while he was shooting at you. So it cannot be hearsay. Like he doesn't know what to do right now. Everything is Zach is asking rapid questions, and he cannot process them. He wants to say speculation, but he's stuck with these whole ways of everything is hearsay.
Yes.
Would you please put up for everybody exhibit number 169, which has previously been published?
Go ahead.
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled.
See the photograph on the screen in front of you?
Yes.
Does that appear to be the same vehicle that you saw drive through the intersection of Wisconsin and Maine?
Yes.
Does that appear to be the same driver?
Yes.
What's going on with that front passenger window?
It looks like
Objection, leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
it looks like it's rolled down.
So if someone had, before this incident, painted that window black, covered it in a black paper bag, and taped it up with duct tape, and then rolled the window down, would that have prevented you from seeing through the front passenger window?
Objection, speculation.
No.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Who was the person depicted in exhibits number 120, number 9, and number 169?
Darrell Brooks.
Thank you.
Objection, I do not consent to being called that name.
The objection is noted. However, the jury is
You already-
advised to disregard as it's not testimony. It's a comment. All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
All right, and that's gonna do it for the testimony. I love this witness. This is one of the best witnesses because he takes on Darrell Brooks. He's not a normal person. Like, he's a cop, so he's not gonna take anything by Darrell Brooks, and he's respectful of him. He never insults him or does anything like that, but he still is firm with his knowledge of the situation because he was there. He cannot lie about the truth. That's the bottom line, and that's what Darrell Brooks doesn't understand. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one, and remember that you're great, that you matter, and then I'm really happy that you're here. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.